Random House Audible presents The Best Business Stories of the Year, 2001 edition, edited by Andrew Leckey, with guest editor Marshall Loeb. Read for you by James Lurie and Eliza Floss.
The loneliness of the long-distance flyer is a common ailment of today's global executives. Many quoted in this Wired magazine story by Warren Berger are no doubt still circling overhead. You can feel their pain, perhaps relive your own pain, and learn helpful tricks of the trade in this unique and lively story that chronicles airborne tedium, bad food, and coping. Warren Berger, Life Sucks, and Then You Fly. Wired, August 1999. If hell is the middle seat in the back row of a 757 with the smell of rancid lasagna wafting in the air, as one frequent flying Silicon Valley executive recently defined it, then Evan Orenston has at least managed to avoid hell today, what with his reserved aisle seat in front of the wing. Unfortunately, heaven is booked solid. Orenston, an executive vice president at Razorfish, the hot web design and consulting firm, has just learned that his Newark to London flight is packed, so there's no chance he can talk his way into a freebie upgrade to first class. Sure, he could simply pay more for a first-class ticket, but that usually isn't done at cash-burning yet conspicuously frugal startups like his. The high-tech nouveau riche still tend to fly coach because, as Excite co-founder Joe Kraus says, it's an acknowledgement that we recently came from the garage and could just as easily go back. The bankers may pay for first class, so may the Microsoft guys who haven't yet bought their own Gulfstreams. Everyone else strives to buy with the masses, get upgraded, and recline with the classes. Today, there will be no miracles for Orenston, even though he's been known to cadge great seats by plying check-in attendants with Razorfish t-shirts, notepads, CDs, and compliments. I'm very good at kissing butt with these people, he admits. The only other way up would be to cash in a few frequent flyer miles, but Orenston, 33, hoards those like a miser as he marches toward magical status in the 100K Club, 100,000 miles in the air for the year, which brings with it automatic upgrades and free tickets. It's all about the miles, and this isn't worth losing them, he says, smiling and stretching out in United's red carpet lounge, resting up for what lies ahead. Here's what lies ahead. A 7:30 p.m. red-eye, which deposits Orenston in London at 7 a.m. local time, where he checks into the Lufthansa lounge. He stays only 2 hours, long enough to stretch his coach-cramped legs, at which point a call reminds him to lurch onto another plane. At 11 a.m., he lifts off to Hamburg, where Razorfish has an office. The gods smile on him. He's upgraded to business class. But the seats aren't much bigger, and the only noticeable difference, he grumbles, is that you get your mayonnaise sandwich on a plate instead of in a napkin. With the plane aloft somewhere over France, Orenston fires up his laptop and composes some emails detailing a few in-flight gripes. Movies on last night's flights. You've Got Mail. Ugh. Waking Ned Devine, seen it at least 5 times. Did not have my low-fat meal, so boycotted and didn't eat. Halfway into my chemically induced sleep, I was forced to get up and let someone sit in the empty seat next to me because their video screen didn't work. I asked if they had to see You've Got Mail that badly. Decided that I much prefer the 9:30 p.m. flight on Virgin. After a stay in Hamburg, Orenston flies to Stockholm for a business meeting. Then it's back to London, then back to Hamburg, then to Berlin, Frankfurt, New York, and home, which for Orenston is a relative term. That's where he lives only about 25% of the time. He has no wife or kids, and his friends are compartmentalized by city. The Paris group, the Hamburg gang, the New York crowd. In an email, I suggest that this is an interesting way to live one's life, to which Orenston replies, "What life?" Orenston is a hyperflyer, a relatively new species whose members spend more time aloft than aground. They're commonly found swirling in the realms of high-tech, finance, media, and consulting, all the brave new world industries that are raging with bull market energy right now. The hyperflyers' destinations may differ, but their distinguishing characteristics are consistently the same. You can spot them in various ways. They self-identify by the extent of their flying. Net design consultant Clement Mock is a 150K man, for instance, logging 150,000 miles a year as he crisscrosses the country. There are 200-day people who fly that many days per year. Hank Nothaft, chair of Concentric Network, can top all that. He's a 3 million-mile guy, 3 million being his lifetime total of miles logged on American Airlines alone. They speak in a coded language that has evolved in airport culture. "I'm going from GSO into BOS," reads an email from Nick Shellness, the chief technology officer at Lotus, then flying out of BOS Terminal E on a 2020 BA to LHR. They know more than any healthy person should about the legroom and seat pitch on a 757 as compared with, say, a DC-10. "I won't fly a 757 except under extreme duress," says Jeff Drazen, a VC with Sierra Ventures. He means it, too. To avoid the relatively cramped 757s, he'll switch airlines if necessary. They're obsessed with packing efficiently and will go to ingenious measures to travel light, like FedExing clean shirts to their next destination. "Cuts down on baggage," says Nicholas Negroponte of the MIT Media Lab, who pioneered this technique. They describe outrageous itineraries with nonchalance. "I departed from California to London," says Diane Freeman, marketing VP at Informix, "then on to Johannesburg, then to Nelspruit, where they have the white rhinos, then connected in Cape Town, back to Johannesburg, on to London, ending up in San Francisco, a typical week." And they're proud. They share such details expecting to earn admiration, awe, even sympathy. "Telling people how much you fly is a badge of honor," says Vicki Abramson, a trend analyst with Iconoculture. "It shows how much you can take." Though their ranks are constantly swelling, they are, for the most part, solitary. "There is no community in the air," says Larry Downs, an e-commerce expert and author. "Those of us who fly regularly have the kindness to leave each other alone. One less chance for a bad interaction. Often they don't look so good. We know each other by sight," Downs says. "The pallid complexion, red watery eyes, deeply furrowed brow, the look of hunger for home, for edible food and a sleepable bed. They are everywhere and nowhere." "I don't know what time zone I live in," says Informix CEO Bob Finocchio, a 200K man. "I think I live in some average time zone between New York and Chicago. Maybe Pittsburgh, I don't know." It wasn't supposed to be this way. Technology was going to shrink and link the world, and in so doing, render one's physical location practically irrelevant. That's why just a few years ago, the airlines were fretting about the growth of the internet, email, and video conferencing. The ultimate fear? Would business travel become obsolete? Those worries have vanished in the stratosphere. Even with the tech revolution in full swing, the airlines have been enjoying record-level profits over the last 2 years. Occupancy rates are higher than ever, and demand for first and business class seats is so feverish that some airlines are downsizing coach sections to open more room up front. Rates on non-weekend flights have soared. Want to fly business class from Los Angeles to London? Try $7,400 round trip. For most airlines, the lion's share of profits is coming from hyperflyers, many of whom, like Orenston, are not just users of information technology, but developers of it. In a strange irony, the enemy has become the airline's best customer. Hyperflyers are the unplanned progeny of the menage a trois involving technology, global business expansion, and savvy airline marketing. Why did it happen? Several reasons. As the global economy exploded during the past decade, communications technology fueled the expansion but did not obliterate the need for face-to-face meetings. Technology allowed businesses like ours to get customers in remote places where we didn't have a physical presence, says Dennis DeAndre of LoopNet, a real estate listing site. But you still have to get on a plane and go there to really make things happen. Indeed,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?